Hi Nitya, ready to go?
Yes, ma'am.
Nitya, introduce yourself, please.
Sure, ma'am. I am Nitya Patidar. I am from Dr. Ambedkar Nagar, formerly known as Mahu, which is in Indore district. I did my schooling from my village named Kodria, which is in Dr. Ambedkar Nagar. I had commerce with informatic practices as an optional subject in my 11th and 12th. I secured rank 1 in Commerce Bus, the Commerce Olympiad in my school. I also topped my school in both the board examination. I'm hardworking, self-motivated individual. I really like holding the position of responsibilities and leadership. I was a class prefect and also the head girl in my school. Now talking about my interests, so I really like drawing. That's all about me. Thank
Okay, Nitya, you said you were a topper in your school.
you. Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, what, in your opinion, is the key skill that is needed to top?
Ma'am, I believe to be a topper, you have to be committed to your work and you have to be honest with yourself.
Okay. Now tell me, why have you chosen IPM?
Ma'am, there are lot many reasons behind the same, which IPMAT fascinates me. IPM fascinates me. The first one is I really like the mission of the institute, which is to produce contextually relevant, socially conscious managers and leaders with a foundation of world-class education in social science, followed by management education. Secondly, IPM provides the diverse curriculum. Like on one hand, we have mathematics, statistics, which build our analytical rigor, and on the other hand, we have psychology, sociology, which gives us breadth and perspective. And the third thing is IPM is a holistic course which provides holistic development of an individual. It is not just bound to your academic orientation. That also fascinates me towards it. And the last thing which I want to mention is IPM through IIM Indore gives me 5 year exposure to IIM culture. And that is something which is very beneficial for me. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In that case, tell me, what is your career goal after you do your graduation and post graduation from here?
Ma'am, as such long-term career goals, I want to be the business tycoon in the corporate world. And to achieve that long-term goal, the first thing I have to ensure that I have got at least minimum experience, and that is something done with doing job in the corporate sector first.
Okay. Now tell me, what in the current time in the news has got your attention?
Ma'am, in the news, like recently, I saw that in the northern part of India, there is heavy floods, and through which there are lot many lives which goes out of that. A lot many peoples got that, and yes, that's what going on in India currently.
Just the floods? Nothing else significant that has caught your attention?
Yes, ma'am, there are lot many things apart from this. Like recently, there is one summit related to NATO summit, and also Maharashtra politics. There are lot many turmoils going on there, and recently I heard about one more thing, and that is Thread, which is a competitor to Twitter, the microblogging platform. So yes, these are the things which are going on currently.
The entire nation was proud about something that happened
Yes,
yesterday.
yes, ma'am. Sorry for that. That is Chandrayaan 3.
What do you know about this mission?
Ma'am, Chandrayaan 3 is a mission. The purpose of Chandrayaan 3 is mainly to do scientific research on the south pole of the moon. And south pole of the moon is the dark area of moon where scientific research is not possible, as though there are not other nations which did it, and India is the first nation which will do it through its Chandrayaan 3 mission.
Okay. Nitya, another thing, you know that our Prime Minister is on a visit to France right now,
Yes, ma'am.
and there was something unique to a foreign diplomat that happened there in France. Are you aware of?
Ma'am, I don't aware of the unique thing which you mentioned about. I really don't know.
Okay. Okay. Tell me, what are your greatest strengths?
Strength, right? So, ma'am, I believe that I'm hardworking and I'm a quick learner, and at the same time, I'm a person who is focused.
Okay. And what would be your weakness?
Ma'am, weakness as such, so I'm an impatient kind of person, and to improve it, I always try to reflect on the causes of it and be mindful. So,
Okay.
yes.
Nitya, last question from my end. Tell me, for a successful organization, what is needed? A leader or a manager?
Ma'am, for a successful organization, I believe it is a leader. And at the same time, leader is a person who creates the vision, and manager is a person who executes it. So, as a leader, so leader is in the top position. And to come back to in the downside, then there is a manager who executes leader's vision. So I believe that both the things are important.
Okay. That'll be all.
Thank you.
Hi Nitya, how are you doing today?
Yes, sir, I'm great.
Okay, you're from which background? 11 12 में क्या क्या पढ़ा था?
Sir, it is commerce plus informatic practices.
कॉमर्स, ठीक है. मुझे ये बता ना, प्रोपेंसिटी टू कंज्यूम किसे कहते हैं अपन? व्हाट इज प्रोपेंसिटी टू कंज्यूम?
Sir, I think this is from economics, and I didn't have economics in my 11th and 12th. Instead, I have IP, informatic practices.
Okay, so what all subjects did you study?
Sir, it was accountancy, business studies, informatic practices, and languages, Hindi and English.
Okay, so one question from my side from accountancy.
Sure.
इजी से शुरुआत करते हैं. गोल्डन रूल्स ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स क्या होता है?
Yes, sir. So there are three accounts in accountancy. The first one is personal account, and its rules is debit the receiver, credit the giver. The
Okay.
second is real account. Its rule is debit what comes in, credit what goes out.
होल्ड इट
And the
ऑन ओवर हियर. आप यहाँ पे होल्ड करो. फिर ऐसा क्यों होता है कि जब भी मेरी सैलरी क्रेडिट होती है अकाउंट में, है ना, इट रीड्स एज योर अकाउंट इज क्रेडिटेड विथ. अभी तो तुमने मुझे रूल बताया, डेबिट व्हाट कम्स इन, क्रेडिट व्हाट गोज आउट. तो ये मैसेज जो आता है मेरे पास हमेशा जब भी मेरी सैलरी आती है, तो ये व्हाई डज इट रीड इट एज डेबिट, योर अकाउंट इज डेबिटेड विथ.
Sir, as such, you are giving the example of bank, right?
Yeah.
The salary coming into the bank. So in our bank passbook, the bank prepared the account of customers as the perspective of bank only, and in the books of account we prepare as a perspective of ourselves. So the because of that entry reverses.
Very good. What do we mean by reserve capital?
Reserved capital.
Reserve capital. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So reserve capital is that capital which is basically generated with a capital profits, and it is a capital which is used in future for our capital losses if it will happen in future, or to pay PDDs, and there are lot many things through which our reserve capital is generally used. Like if
थोड़ा
there is
lot many
bad
things
debt.
को elaborate करो.
Yes, sir. If bad debt happened, so that bad debt is generally write off through that reserve. And also, if at all in future, if company will go with a loss, so in that case also we write off that loss through this account only, because we don't have sufficient profit in P&L account.
Difference between issued share capital and subscribed share capital.
Sir, to give the difference, I want to say one thing, that is when company started, we have authorized capital. And that authorized capital, then after company issue shares, and through which it raise capital, and that capital is called as issued capital. And then that is what company issue, and then after shareholders subscribe to it, and then after subscription, then shareholder pay to the company, and that capital is called as shared subscribed capital.
Okay, and what do we mean by paid up capital then?
Sir, after subscription, company calls the amount of that share, And when the shareholder pay that, so it is called as paid up capital.
ठीक है. What all comes in the liability segment of a balance sheet? Any
Uh,
10 things you have to mention.
10 things. Okay, sir. So the liability side, we have long-term liability and the short-term liability. These are the main heads of balance sheet as per the Schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013. So under the liability sides, we have first our capital, and then we have our loans, whether it is short term or long term,
Hmm.
and the capital which we raise through debentures. So it basically comes under the head long term loans. And then third thing which comes under it, it's our advances which we receive. It's also a liability for a company. And then we have like advances and prepaid, like which we paid for the next year. It is also a liability for which other customer pays for us for the next year, which is not related to the current year. So that is something which is also a liability for a company. As such, if talking about the items, sir, so when we prepare the balance sheet, then we have heads like long-term liabilities, short-term liabilities.
गुडविल कहाँ पे
So,
आएगा?
so which one?
गुडविल.
Goodwill is an asset for.
अच्छा, ठीक है. Types of goodwill?
Sir, goodwill is an intangible asset. So, as such type, I think
ठीक
I
है,
didn't
चलो.
read.
Prominent features क्या हैं? 3 prominent features या 2 prominent features जिससे ये पता पड़े कि goodwill इस कंपनी का है नहीं है. Any 2 prominent features of goodwill are?
So, sir, goodwill is reputation basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, the brand is something, it's also goodwill. So if we're talking about, like, we have the topmost companies which are working in the world, like TCS, Infosys, these brands have its goodwill. When it comes to TCS, oh, it is an MNC like that. So it has brand, it has its goodwill. And the second thing is location sometimes also affects the goodwill. Like if a firm is established in a area where consumer base is strong, then at that time the firm have a great extent of goodwill as compared with a firm which is operated in a local area where there is no consumer base. So there are lot many factors which affect goodwill, like nature of business, what
What are
are
the
the what.
methods by which we evaluate goodwill?
Sir, there are not many methods. So the first one is average method, then capitalization method, and super profit method is also there. And yes, so these are the three main methods which we used in accountancy.
In information practices, you were actually learning about computers, basically, right? Okay.
Yes.
How do we convert bits to bytes, to kilobytes, to gigabyte?
Sorry, sir, as there is some standard units through which we convert, I didn't remember it.
What do we mean by what operating system?
Operating system is it's like a system as a such computer talking about. So it is a system through which this computer started, like it's a boot sector basically, which we called in our IP as when we operate it. So like boot sector which opens it, and that boot sector is going to be like an operating system of any of the gadget. So yes.
What is an algorithm?
Algorithm, sorry sir, I don't know.
Okay, Nitya. So you told that so many stories you have been following lately. है ना? One was NATO, which you mentioned initially when you were talking to Renu ma'am. How many members are there in NATO currently?
Sir, it is 32 members. Recently, Sweden also joined NATO.
Okay, recently it's Sweden. Before Sweden, which was the last member?
Sir, it is Finland,
What is full form of NATO?
North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
So, why Russia is afraid of NATO?
Sir, so the reason is like Russia main economy is going with a Black Sea, which is a sea which is basically in Ukraine and in between Ukraine and Russia. Like if Russia want to use Black Sea, then it has to go with the go through the Ukraine first, and then after it started its trade. So
No,
what
I think you're not
happened?
getting the point. Why Russia-Ukraine war took place? क्वेश्चन को मैं रिफ्रेम करके इस तरीके से पूछ रहा हूँ आपसे.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, I just want to build the base, then after I'll start.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll just provide the base. So, sir, what happened? Like, that is the Black Sea, which is the major thing in Russia-Ukraine war. Like, Russia's economy is going through that. So, what happens? Like, in 2008, there was a news that Ukraine might join NATO. But in 2020, what happens? Like there is some instances which shows that Ukraine will join NATO, would join NATO definitely,
नाटो
and
ज्वाइन
that
कर
is
लेगा तो क्या होगा? जस्ट कम टू द पॉइंट.
yes, sir. So like Russia, it's really a big problem for Russia. Like if Ukraine join NATO, then the US power become more powerful than
नो,
USSR.
दिस इज नॉट द करेक्ट रीजन. नाटो ज्वाइन कर लेगा अगर यूक्रेन, तो क्या हो जाता? रशिया को क्या प्रॉब्लम होती?
Sir, if Ukraine join the NATO, then its enemy, not means its enemy, which is US, it fosters. So
No,
because
this is not the correct answer. Okay, Nitya,
sorry,
I'll be telling you after this interview. Okay, you're from which city?
sir, it is Indore.
Indore. Okay, who is Home Minister of MP?
Sir, it is Narottam Mishra, Mr. Narottam Mishra.
Governor of MP?
It is Mr. Mangubhai C. Patel.
Okay, who who took oath of Chief Minister of Karnataka recently?
It is Sita Ramaya, Mr. Sita Ramaya, I think. I think I just messed up
Okay,
something. Yeah.
and who recently took oath of Deputy CM of Maharashtra?
It is Mr. Ajit Pawar.
Then what exactly happened to Devendra Fadnavis?
Sorry, sir.
He was the ex-deputy CM of uh, Maharashtra, ना? Devendra Fadnavis. उनका क्या हुआ?
Sir, actually, there is some political turmoil which is going on in Maharashtra. Like, what happens? NCP, Mr. Sharad Pawar's nephew is Ajit Pawar. So, like, when they demolished their government, like when Eknath Shinde came into picture, so what happens at that time? Like, some members of this party come to that party, and because of that they want some strong holding in the NCP. So for that reason, I think Ajit Pawar was given the position to shift to the its Shiv Sena. So because of that, I think Ajit Pawar was provided with the position like
My
deputy chief
question
minister.
still remains the same. What happened to Mr. Devendra Fadnavis?
Sorry, sir, I don't know the root cause. Sorry for that.
I'm not asking root cause.
Sorry, sir.
All right. Now, how do you explain color blue to a blind person?
Sir, just give me a second. I just gather my thought. Sir, it is by touching water and like this.
Good. ठीक है नित्या. Renu ma'am, I'm done with the interview part.
All right, Nitya. Very happy with the way you answered. Some things I want you to take care of. First of all, when you said strength and weaknesses, you used hardworking, motivated, and committed. All right. Given to how you have performed the interview, they sound very lame in comparison to the quality of the answers you've given otherwise. So, what you have to do is you have to come up with something which is not so common, because I keep telling everyone hardworking, committed, motivation are something which are basic. वो तो चाहिए ही, होना ही चाहिए. So it is not something you can attribute as a separate, strength when you're explaining your personality. So come up with something else which is not so common. One. Secondly, when I said, what do you want to become? What did you say? I want to become a tycoon. So that again, brought the level of your answer down a little bit. Say, I want to be very successful. I want to be leading a firm. When you use superlative words in your answers, they kind of become bragging, or they kind of become too ambitious. So even if you want to talk about something which is very ambitious, the formulation of the answer has to be that it there is humbleness to it. So say that my ambition is to lead an organization or create a niche for myself in my segment. और एक अच्छी चीज आपने जो बोली थी, आपने कहा था पहले मैं एक्सपीरियंस लेना चाहती हूँ फिर मैं जाना चाहती हूँ. सो दैट काइंड ऑफ लाइक compensated for what you were saying. Then in your introduction, it was very nice. Need to make steps to what you are saying. आपके answers segmented नहीं थे. The whatever you said, they kept coming one after the other. So what you have to do is you have to divide your introduction in clear parts where you talk about yourself, your background, your academic achievements, your hobbies and interests. Don't intermingle in that. That's from my side.
Nitya, okay. So when you started the interview, you sounded very intelligent. इनफैक्ट आंसर्स में बहुत वेट था जो तुमने प्रिपेयर किए. मुझे एक क्वेश्चन याद है व्हेन रेनू में आस्क्ड यू कि एक टॉपर की नीड को सबसे ज्यादा, तो आई वाज इवन थिंकिंग कि क्या आंसर होना चाहिए इसका, बट यू सेड कि उसको कमिटेड होना चाहिए. अगर तुमने इंटेलिजेंट बोला होता तो शायद मुझे लगता कि नहीं, बट तुमने कमिटेड बोला. इट वाज वेरी गुड, इट वाज गोइंग इन वेरी गुड डायरेक्शन. बट मैंने एक बहुत बड़ी खामी पकड़ ली. आई टेल यू दैट. बट बिफोर दैट आई लेट मी टेल यू द टेक्निकल पार्ट ऑफ दिस इंटरव्यू. लाइट की बहुत कमी है जहां आप बैठे हो. आप देखो जहां बैठे हुए हो वहां पर थोड़ा पीछे होके देखो, नीचे लाइट आ रही है, ऊपर शेडो बन रहा है उसका. ये क्लियरली शोकेस कर रहा है. वर्सेस रेनू एम का देखो, फेस की तक ग्लो कर रहा है. मेरा तो बैकग्राउंड थोड़ा सा ब्लैक है तो उतना नहीं इफेक्ट दिखेगा तुमको, लेकिन उतनी लाइट होनी चाहिए जहां जैसे रेनू में बैठी हुई है. ठीक है, कम से कम तो लाइट शुड बी कमिंग फ्रॉम फ्रंट. दूसरी चीज, फिर भी अगर वो बहुत रिफ्लेक्शन दे रही है तो बाकी लाइट से उसको मैनेज करना पड़ेगा आपको. दूसरा, आप स्पेक्स यहाँ पे पहन रहे हो, उसको ऊपर करो. हाँ, मेक श्योर उसको टाइट करवा देना आज के आज जाकर, बहुत इंपैक्ट पड़ता है पूरा शुरू से लेकर एंड तक इंटरव्यू के. तीसरा, थोड़ा पुश करो आगे लैपटॉप को, थोड़ा सा लैपटॉप को, मतलब टेबल को पुश करो आगे, या लैपटॉप को ना करो. आपका थर्ड बटन विजिबल होना चाहिए. मेरा थर्ड बटन जैसे विजिबल है ना, वहां तक पुश करो. और फिर उसका ऑडियो वीडियो दोनों चेक कर लेना. उसके बाद सर तक आ सकता है ना, और पुश करो थोड़ा आगे, या तो चेयर को ऊपर करो. दोनों चीजें में इशू है. ठीक है, तो ये चीज देखना. क्या आपकी पोजीशन ऐसी नहीं हो सकती कि वो पिलर ना आए? क्या रूम इतना बड़ा है कि आएगा ही आएगा हमेशा?
सर वो आ ही रहा है.
ठीक है, अगर ऐसी कोई प्लेस मिल जाए जहां पिलर नहीं आए तो अच्छी बात है. तो ये टेक्निकल पार्ट था इंटरव्यू का. मैंने अच्छी बातें कर ली, अब थोड़ी सी बुरी बातों पे आते हैं.
Yes, sir.
मैंने एक ऑब्जर्वेशन है एंड इट्स अ ट्रूथ कि अगर आपको क्वेश्चन का आंसर नहीं पता होता तो आप इंटरव्यूअर को घुमाते हो. और ये एक बार नहीं, दो बार हो गया. एंड देन आई गॉट टू नो इट. जैसे कि नाटो तक सब ठीक था. नाटो में कितने मेंबर्स हैं वहां तक ठीक है. लास्ट मेंबर किसने ज्वाइन किया वहां तक ठीक था. रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर क्यों हुआ तो आप कुछ भी बोलने लग गए. हाँ, बेस, फिर मैंने फिर से क्रॉस चेक किया आपको, तो आपने बोला मैं बेस बना रही थी. बट जो मैं सुनना चाह रहा था वो एंड तक नहीं आया. फिर मैंने सोचा हो सकता है कि बेस बना रही है, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं था. उसका
Sorry.
आंसर बहुत सिंपल था. उसका आंसर क्या था मैं अभी दे देता हूं. उसका आंसर था कि नाटो में अगर कोई भी मेंबर ज्वाइन होता है तो नाटो क्या करता है, अगर उस मेंबर के ऊपर कोई भी कंट्री अटैक करती है तो सारे के सारे मिलिट्री फोर्सेस एक साथ अटैक करेंगे उस पर्टिकुलर कंट्री के ऊपर. सो रशिया को क्या डर था, यूक्रेन ने अगर नाटो ज्वाइन कर लिया तो उस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे जब यूक्रेन वाज बिकमिंग द 31st मेंबर, यूक्रेन को बनने नहीं दिया रशिया ने, तो 30 के 30 और जो कंट्रीज थे वो अपने ट्रूप्स रशिया के खिलाफ खड़े कर सकते थे. डिड यू गेट मी? दिस वाज द करेक्ट थिंग. बट तुम्हारी मेमोरी में अभी ये वाली बात नहीं थी. हो सकता है आपको पता ना हो, या फिर पता हो तो भी मेमोरी में नहीं है. ठीक है,
Yes, I want to show that the reason is NATO, but I just मैं खुद ही अपने शब्दों में रैप हो गई थी, तो वो उस टाइम पे अच्छे से बोल
नित्या
नहीं
एक
पाई।
चीज एक्सेप्ट कर, बहुत सिंपल है।
यस सर।
मैं इंटेलिजेंट हूँ, मैं टॉपर हूँ, लेकिन मुझे सब कुछ पता नहीं होगा। और मैं जितना भी इंटेलिजेंस इंटरव्यूअर्स को दिखाऊंगी या दिखाऊंगा, तो भी वो एक और टफ क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं। सो अगर कोई ऐसा क्वेश्चन आता है, तो हम्बली, सॉरी आई नीड टू ब्रश इट अप, सॉरी आई डू नॉट नो इट्स आंसर। या अगर कुछ पता है, तुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि हो सकता है यही इसका आंसर है, सर मे आई गेस। या फिर तुझे आधा अधूरा पता है, तो यू कैन से आई नो समथिंग अबाउट इट, आई नो पार्शली अबाउट इट। These are the ways of answering the questions rather than sticking to your point that this is the answer for this thing. और यही चीज फिर बाद में भी रिपीट हुई एक और क्वेश्चन में। आपने नोटिस किया ये चीज? आई एम नॉट रिकॉलिंग, अगर कुछ मुझे याद आ जाए कि कौन सा क्वेश्चन था। इसकी रिकॉर्डिंग जब आप आके देखोगे आखिरी में, फिर से मैंने आपको थोड़ा सा इसी तरीके से हाँ, देवेंद्र फडणवीस,
देवेंद्र फडणवीस।
फडणवीस सेम चीज। सो मेरा जो डाउट था पहले वाले क्वेश्चन में, उसको क्लैरिटी दे दी तुमने देवेंद्र फडणवीस के केस में। अच्छा, लेट मी टेल यू नित्या, देवेंद्र फडणवीस अभी भी डिप्टी सीएम है महाराष्ट्र के। ठीक
सॉरी
है,
सर, आई डोंट
सो
नो।
दिस इज वन थिंग जो कि बिल्कुल अगेंस्ट जा सकती है, और कहीं ना कहीं लाइमलाइट में खड़ी कर देगी कि शी इज नॉट ऑनेस्ट। तो हम लोग स्पेसिफिकली अपने स्टूडेंट्स को टीच करते हैं कि फॉल्सिफिकेशन मत करना, कहीं पर भी फॉल्सिफाई मत करना, झूठ मत बोलना, गलत मत बोलना। अगर नहीं पता है, सॉरी आई डू नॉट नो अबाउट इट। और ये सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम होती है काफी सारे इंटेलिजेंट स्टूडेंट्स के साथ, जो आपके साथ थी। ये मेरा एक ऑब्जर्वेशन था। दूसरा ऑब्जर्वेशन जो है मेरा, एंड आई थिंक दैट्स वेरी हम्बल ऑब्जर्वेशन ऑल्सो। आई थिंक यू हैव बीन फ्रॉम अ रस्टिक एंड वर्नाकुलर बैकग्राउंड। आप छोटे शहर से पढ़े हैं, और वो तो काफी सारे ना मेजर फ्लॉज मुझे दिखे लैंग्वेज पे व्हेन यू आर स्पीकिंग। तो सेंटेंसेस पूरे नहीं थे, इसलिए मैंने हिंदी भी यूज करी आपसे जब मैं क्वेश्चंस पे आया था। तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है उस पर्टिकुलर केस में। लेकिन कहीं पर भी अगर आपको इंटरव्यूअर ऐसे दिख रहा है जो कि इंग्लिश रिलेटेड कुछ, तो आप बता सकते हैं उनको कि आई एम फ्रॉम रस्टिक बैकग्राउंड। बिल्कुल ओपनली बोलिएगा इस चीज को। ठीक है, तो ये मेरे दो एक प्राइम ऑब्जर्वेशंस थे। अदरवाइज कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स स्ट्रांग है, चाहे लैंग्वेज थोड़ी सी डाउन है, लेकिन कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स बहुत स्ट्रांग है। द वे यू एक्सप्रेस इज वेरी गुड, यू साउंड इंटेलिजेंट एंड हम्बल ऑल्सो। दीज वर द गुड पॉइंट्स। ठीक है,
थैंक यू सर।
वन।
अच्छा।
नित्या, मुझे बस एक टिप देना है आपको। जैसे राहुल सर का ऑब्जर्वेशन था कि आप जिसका जवाब नहीं पता होता, आप अपने ही उसमें इंटैंगल हो जाते हो। तो एक सेल्फ चेक है, व्हेन देयर इज अ क्वेश्चन दैट इज आस्क्ड फ्रॉम यू, और आपको 2 सेंटेंस से ज्यादा बैकग्राउंड फॉर्म करने के लिए बनाना पड़े, तो वहीं पे रुक जाओ, गैदर योर थॉट्स एंड देन आंसर इट। एंड इट दिस शुड बी योर चेक फॉर एवरीथिंग। जहां पे आपको 2 सेंटेंस से ज्यादा बिल्डअप करना पड़े टू रीच टू द एक्चुअल आंसर, then there is something wrong. So either take a pause and say, sir, I want a moment to gather my thoughts, and then you answer. जहां आप elongate करने लगते हो ना, you weaken the accuracy and the quality of your answer. Don't do that. All right, all the best.
थैंक यू सो मच।